We're like the most
Comparison.
uneducated sports guys. So
No, I was thinking about Jackson, not.
Don't listen to us about sports.
Yeah,
unless it's F1, you can listen.
It's not a sport.
it's a driving experience.
I knew it. His face. Sorry.
Welcome to the Status Quo. I'm Chance, your host, and today I am joined by the royal pain in the ass himself, Johnny Boy.
Oh, on this side, yeah.
I am also joined by Sundered Gaming's lead artist, Chad, and Sundered Gaming's lead narrative director, Bear. So, like we said last week, we are going to start talking about some conspiracy theories in the gaming world. Each of us have picked a topic that we wanted to discuss a little bit, and we will go a little bit more in depth. I see John's shrug over there as a counter to my statement, but that is all right. So I'm going to start off with...
I guess that's why I'm the pain in the ass.
That's why you got that special title.
Yeah,
Woo!
obviously.
Living up to it.
So I'm going to start with a conspiracy theory of the game Kill Switch. So for those of you who don't know, Kill Switch is a supposed game that was released in 1989 by Carvina Co. I'm going to go ahead and just read through this article. The game had a unique feature in that it could only be played one time. Once you either died or finished the game, it erased itself completely, rendering you unable to continue or to play the other characters. The character was Porto, who was a young girl, and Gast, an invisible demon. The demon is completely invisible, meaning that not even you, the player, can see him on the screen. And as a result, not a single gamer has recorded having beaten the game with Gast. Only 5,000 copies of the game were ever made, according to the story. For those wondering about Porto's story, it went something like this. Porto wakes up in a dark area with wounds on her elbow and no idea how she arrived. As she tries to find a way out of this dark, creepy place, she discovers that it is an old coal mine that she used to work in. The mine has been shut down and is now populated by demons, dead foremen, coal golems, and even inspectors from a company known as Sovitic. Porto continues exploring the mine, though she is more to worry about than just the threats mentioned above. Her size tends to change randomly, hindering her movements in some cases and helping her out in others. There is no way to control this change in size, so she simply has to hope that the change she needs will occur when she needs it. The reason for the mine shutdown, she discovers, is because the workers were ordered to increase production. They proceeded to blame the poor output on equipment malfunctions, which led Savitic to send out inspectors. These inspectors had a unique way of encouraging the miners to increase the coal output, namely by stabbing sharp knives into the miners. The Fire of Earth, it is unknown what this is, but it is assumed to be a demon similar to the Gast, proceeded to awaken the heart of the machines in the mines in order to allegedly defend the miners. The sentient machines proceeded to drive the men from Savitic mad, and they vanished into the mine. The machines proved to be indiscriminate, however, and proceeded to destroy the very miners that they were supposedly going to protect. Gamers who demanded that more copies would be released so they might attempt to beat Gast's story were disappointed by a press release sent out by Carvina, the company who supposedly made this game, in 1990 that stated Kill Switch was designed to be a unique playing experience. Like reality, it is unrepeatable, irretrievable, and illogical. One might even say ineffable. Death is final, death is complete. There used to be the word beloved caught gamers by surprise, as Gas hadn't appeared anywhere in Porto's storyline. Though players rushed out to get their hands on one more copy of the game in order to figure out what Carvina meant, they were in for a disappointment. No copies were to be found anywhere. Supposedly, a copy was placed on eBay in 2005, a sealed copy of the game, and it was purchased by one man, Yamamoto Ryuichi, for $733,000.
Say that name again.
He was gonna say your mama.
Yamamoto
Thank you.
Ryuichi. And he promised that he was going to record himself playing the game through the storyline and post video updates as he did it. There was a 1 minute and 30-second video posted of him playing the game in the selection screen. And that was it. Nothing ever followed.
You mean that like it got taken down, or
No, like meaning that nothing ever followed like his story through playing the game.
That guy's.
I don't know.
We should find
Well,
out.
that's what I mean, like-
2005 is like not that long ago.
right? So
I mean, 15, 16, 18 years ago, and he spent $733,000 on this game. Supposedly, I mean, the gaming company came out and made the statement in 1990 as to we're not releasing any more of these. But it could have literally just been them. It could have been like a whole ploy as to like, oh, we're going to say we released this game to build a ton of hype behind it. And then in reality, we didn't do anything. So you have all these people with all this hype behind your game that you didn't even have to put out. So then it drives all this hype behind your name, so that stuff you put out in the future generates more revenue off of it.
yeah, but they didn't do anything else, did they?
Covina? I am actually not 100% sure on that one. I will look up that company. Carvina is what it is, but I didn't recognize the name at all. And even if they did put out anything more, I mean, I couldn't have been, not to say all that great, but it couldn't have been anything top of the line because we really haven't heard of this company ever. And just a quick search really tells me nothing. That gaming company doesn't even come up.
You'll find.
I tried looking for it. I could not find it. Tried looking up his name. I could not find the guy. I found articles talking about somebody spending a ton of money on the game, but I couldn't find anything that like with any substance. I couldn't find any videos of him, pictures of him, pictures of the eBay post, nothing. And I mean, it's old enough that all of that could have been fabricated,
Or it could have been true.
or it could have been true. I mean, that's the crazy part.
I mean, to live in such a digital age now, to where like everything's recorded and posted, they have stuff to be like, really, no screenshot, didn't happen.
Yeah, but
Screenshot.
I could see as like a gaming company doing that though, releasing like a short run copy of a game that automatically deletes itself when you've either died or
So like, was it for the computer?
that game was for, yeah, it was PC.
So, like, what prevented you from like downloading it again and playing it again? Or
Getting downloaded. It was on a cartridge. It was a disc. So you
Yeah, it deleted itself off of
deleted
the
itself one
off
time.
the disc?
Yeah.
Yep. Self-deleting game.
Bye.
You can play the game as Porto or the Gast.
Yeah.
But you can't. You can only play one time. It's one time.
Yeah.
5,000 copies. That was it.
It doesn't matter if you died or if you finished it. It was done.
What did they sell the game for?
I didn't give me a price when I was looking.
Where did it? It's all over, like 50 here.
Everything I found about Covina was a like a European gaming development company, so it probably wasn't anything US.
Okay.
But could you see, like, in this day and age, like, investing all that time and all that money into producing a game and then saying, by the way, there's only 5,000 copies? Like, do you think that would piss off your players? Or do you think that would, like...
Well, it
If it was
depends.
like a limited experience, like one-time thing, like we're only doing this, and you do like it's $2.99 or something small. And it's like you only get to play, and you only get one life. And if you've already bought it, or more than once, or something like that, I don't know how you can do it, but I think I think that would be a neat thing to do. Like you'd have like people that would be like streaming it and recording it, and like, oh, I got through, I got this way. Like that, I think that's actually a really smart marketing for something like as a preamble to something else that you're doing.
Like, all right, here you go. This is a teaser. It's not gonna last. You know, you could if you have the money, if people want to buy it. You know,
The only thing I can say is like you would have to do some shenanigans to either use old tech so that way it can delete itself, because it's kind of like, I mean, with anything that was produced, unless, I don't know.
It was Czechoslovakian.
Oh, Russian.
Yeah,
okay.
what European Russian?
Right. It sounds like the name sounds
That side of the world.
correct.
There's America, and then there's the rest of the world. Let's be
Right.
honest.
But no, as far as when it comes to prevent people from like copying the game, even from like a disc, is very hard to do.
No,
to get, like, the
not back in the day.
information.
The code was
No. That's what I'm saying. In order for us to do that now,
Yeah.
Yeah, you would definitely have to go back to older tech. Like it would be on a CD with an old operating system.
or have it on a server. But the only thing is that people bounces IRPs all the time, so that'd even be kind of hard to prevent people from only accident unless you do like a time limit. It's like, all right, you guys have a special invite. The server is going to be on in 2 hours.
right.
It'll shut off.
That would actually be a
Right.
very interesting way to do it. You have like limited runs of story, like RPG story that like, hey, we're sending out this mass invite to everybody. Like nothing to download. You literally hop onto our servers and like you can play like this section of the story for a very short period of time. And like those of you who get it, awesome. Those of you who don't, like, sucks to suck.
And you could do it like almost like a puzzle pieces. So this month, hey, this date here's the date. Show up if you want like to know more. And then the next month, if you make it, you make it. If you don't, you don't. And then people are gonna be like, oh my gosh, I missed it. Ah. If you do it well or do a good job.
You could even something else. Like you'd have to go play other video games to get this thing and this thing to get the access code.
I would actually like it more to where like we throw hints and like not necessarily Easter eggs, but like sub stories in each one of our games that connect with each other.
Yep. To
see if people like figure it out, like the actual story of like, oh, what's the deal with this guy in the red cap? Like, why is he eating everything?
Yeah.
Well, that's what Stargate Universe was. The kid that broke the code for the game, he finished the game. That's what
Oh
they recruited
yeah,
him.
yeah. They show up, teleport him up.
Right?
Like, I'm standing on the spaceship. People didn't
yeah.
like that one because they said it was too dark or darker than the other ones.
They
and
spent way too much time on the background of the characters, which
It was terrible.
yeah,
It
great
was
concept,
terrible.
I know
awesome concept.
it was
But I wasn't watching Stargate Universe for espionage.
Yeah,
right.
I was watching it for what Stargate is known for.
So
Yeah.
you had a limited amount of people and resources, and in and amongst all that shit right there that you have, you got people who are backstabbing and
Correct.
conniving against each other. You're done.
Right. This is life or death.
It's life or death.
Yeah,
You
pretty
fuck
much.
around and we're done.
But- I mean, I could see like us in the future just doing something similar to that.
that would be cool. That would leave a legacy.
Of being like, oh, these like
That fucking Sundered Cambridge guys, those 2020.
once in a lifetime like storyline that you only get to unlock, and like you could make it so it can't be. Well, I don't know. It can't be streamed is like kind of crappy.
No, it has to be streamed. It'd be like very few people
Yeah.
can do it.
Yeah, because people still want to be able to enjoy the storyline even if they didn't get to play it. And it's not like our story is really going to be all that secret because it's going to be in somebody's book. So
Right.
Ooh, surprise!
Although
it's just
spoiler
there's a
alert.
huge difference between playing a story and reading a story.
it would be crazy that if Bear finishes his overarching story and then like
You mean his 9 books?
right, and then like on his deathbed, it's like, oh, I forgot to give you guys this to publish after.
It's like, now where's my cheeseburger?
That's my last
I'm
meal.
going out with the bag on this one.
Sir, you can't have that. You're dying. I know.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do it right.
Yeah, that cracks me up. Too.
Sorry, I just
No, off
I
tangent, right?
gated the mics there.
Oh, 100%. Every single one of them.
Sorry.
So, in your opinions, do you think it happened, or do you think it was a hoax in that they did it as a ploy for name recognition, which obviously didn't work, but...
Well, I was alive during 1990, and I don't remember hearing about the game at all.
Well, because it was in Russia, we weren't.
No,
really...
it was released in America, but it was done. The company was in Yugoslavia or Czechoslovakia. It was released in America.
Well, like why 5,000 copies? It's not even.
It's
the world's population
like,
back
yeah,
then.
it's not even worth the like time investment into it,
Right.
except for the fact of
Unless you're immediately going to try to make it a cult iconic kind of just.
Maybe it was only like the chosen people got to play it,
Right.
and it's really like a secret order, like a cult.
Something along those lines. You got to remember though, and even in the description of the game, it wasn't a standout game in any way, shape, or form. It was clunky, old pixels, 8-bit, whatever the hell it was, 16-bit. But there was nothing special, outstanding about the game other than it was played one time. And
where did you read it was released in the U.S.?
Wiki.
Oh, if it's on the wiki, it must be true.
Wiki. No, I just edited
Well,
it earlier.
There's a actually.
Yeah, the fandom wiki.
Yeah.
This is a weird one. Like, just the fandom wiki in general is a weird wiki because it's. You remember your teachers and well, you wouldn't in high school telling you were still writing on tablets, so don't start with me.
Tablet? You talking about
Yeah, the big stone. No, the
No,
stones.
stone
tablet.
tablet.
No, you remember like
Yeah, my paper was made out of trees.
you remember in high school when they told us,
Don't
you can't use wiki as a reference.
It'll never
Right.
be.
Yeah. Yeah,
Everybody uses it
yeah,
now.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, wikis.
What's
Well, I
an
mean,
encyclopedia?
Exactly. They don't. they
it's a
have no idea.
database.
Show people like an actual map, and they're like, "Well, where's my car on there?"
Right.
It's not a GPS. It's
Yeah.
a map.
So, what are your thoughts, John? Do you think it was real? Do you think it was a hoax?
Like I don't know. I can't imagine it being that exciting of a story for like. Well, what is it?
You gotta remember
1990?
in 90,
1990.
computer games were new.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Computer
It's
games
like
were new.
we're looking at like NES or Super NES type graphics
Mm-hmm.
at that, and I'm just like, so
So
I don't think it was real because I mean, there's nothing of the company now, right? Even if they did, like, why the arbitrary 5,000? Maybe that's all they were able to make, and that was it. They were going out of business.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of.
Except for they released a statement the next year.
Yeah, they were going out of business. You can still like okay if we go under, you can still make a statement a year later from Sundered Gaming and be
we're not
like,
a
yeah,
business sale.
That's
Fair.
fair.
whether the business exists or not.
All right. So John's a no. What about you on this one, Bear?
I believe that it happened. I believe that it happened.
What leads you to believe that?
Well,
Still writing about it.
I think it's one of those things you want to believe because it's cool. I wouldn't say like if I had to like make an empirical decision right now and say I believe this or don't believe it, I couldn't give you a firm yes. I would give you a soft yes because I'm inclined to say no because there's not any evidence of it, like not tangible, like we can't watch the video that the guy that bought it. I want to know more, but I need more information.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm inclined to say yes because I want it to be true because I think it's kind of a legendary idea. Like I think it is one of those things that it's just like to be a part of something like that where if you actually did that and you know how to beat the game and how to do it and or to see everything, the story behind it, and everybody else trying to figure it out, like guessing, like what was that next part? I couldn't figure it out. Never get to play it again. Like I don't know. I think
Cool concept.
I think it's a cool concept. I think I'd be mad if I paid for it, maybe.
That's probably
Like,
true.
to me, like the statement that they came out with a year later seemed a little bit too pretentious for me to believe that it actually happened.
It seemed like they were just like, oh, the sorrow of humanity,
Right,
and this is
exactly.
the
Like,
reflection
okay.
of our soul, and it's like,
you're trying to be like
What?
pop art or like
Well,
new age.
It could have totally been just a one-off,
social
right?
experiment.
Right. Thank you. So we got $50,000. We got a programmer who, hey guys, I bring it to you guys, and hey, what do you think? What we just throw 5,000 copies, $5 a piece, and see what happens. Just a social experiment, right? I mean, who knows?
Well, it's
So
Russian.
you're-
It's like it's broken. Here, play game, huh?
Right?
You're like, and then like it doesn't work. We
Just like-
know.
just like their military.
One-time use.
So we gotta know.
Catches fire immediately. That's why.
So we've got to know. We've got a soft yes. What are you on?
I'm gonna know. I was in '90s. I was 20 years old at that point. I was big into video games, all the Nintendos. all
And
that
you were
stuff.
closer to Russia than
Whoa,
most.
whoa, 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 whoa. You lived on an island
No, what?
with no arcade.
Not in '90.
90. When'd you
I was
graduate?
'88.
Oh shit. That's not that far off.
I
You were-
was
you
not.
were- you
I
were-
was
it
not
happened
in
in
suburbia.
two years.
Don't
anymore. I was
even
not in
start. You
suburbia.
were in some random
I was
jungle
not in suburbia.
somewhere.
I was
You
still a
didn't.
big computer guy. Still into games. Still into. And
He's
I was in the
in the
military at
jungle
that point.
playing it.
Thank you. And so, if I'd heard a whispering or anything, I'd say yeah, but because I was into those kind of weird bullshit.
Oh, and you were all
stuff.
over the world too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was everywhere.
Yeah, he
So
was.
To be honest, if it was something that actually happened, I think you would have like a PC Gamer article or something
Right.
of that
Yeah.
in the past.
Nothing.
At least report on
huge
it.
on PC Gamer, right? So
Well,
When did PC?
yeah.
It
When
was,
did
it, was,
come
it, was,
out?
it was around during that
I
time.
thought it was like 95, 94. Like I didn't think it was. I was a kid. I don't know.
Nintendo Power came out like in the 80s.
yeah.
Or-
But you still had
early
magazines like XP.
1993.
Hmm.
PC Gamer.
Ah, damn it.
So I mean,
So we got no. We got soft yes. I say yes, if only for the fact of who would take the time to formulate this whole. This
Story.
Japanese guy bought this game on eBay for $733,000. Like, who would formulate that story on some BS game 18 years after the fact?
Yeah, but you can't pull up the actual
That's fair.
posting.
Lonely people.
yeah, you can't.
Bored people.
Somebody was bored.
I
They-
understand. I
100%
can't. I can't
just-
pull up
hey,
the
check
original
this out. Let's see
posting.
what it-
But like,
again, another social experiment.
I don't know,
Check this
the-
out.
Like,
Okay.
the whole eBay thing that he bought it for like 700 whatever could be fabricated for all we know.
everything could be fabricated.
Right.
But
It's
that
all
just-
an illusion,
yeah.
guys.
To me, that just it lends fuel to the fire of like. I understand people have a lot of time on their hands, but that's a very niche thing to have a lot of time to put into to just create stories about. So to me, I lean yes. So 2 no's and 2 yeses. Leave a
I don't know,
comment. In
there,
the,
there are a lot of people that just like to make stories just to make stories.
that's fair. Leave a comment in the comment section. Do you believe this one to be true, or do you believe it to be a myth?
I think it's Smith.
Yeah, we got your opinion.
Got your
Thank you. All
Probably
right.
matters.
Who
I'm
would
the right
like to
one.
go next? Dun dun dun.
Well, I can talk about mine. It's,
Well,
it's not too in depth.
Dang it. Well, no, because there's like true conspiracies here, and like mine and his are like not necessarily so much conspiracy.
Curse kind of.
Right.
So they say start on a bang, end on a bang.
Yeah.
Okay. go
Okay.
ahead.
Right.
Wow.
Because well, I mean,
Why you gotta discredit my shit, yo?
no, not discrediting it. It's so interesting, but I'm just saying like theirs are just like actual like, huh, and ours is just like, huh.
That was so descriptive.
Wow.
I want to put that in the next book,
I'm
John.
just saying that,
They're attacking from this point.
Right.
Eh.
right.
We're gonna go to over there.
Right.
Is that a Torm quote now?
No, it'd be a sky.
That's great.
Anyways, well, I mean, as far as like with conspiracy theories, like in video games, like it depends on what you want to consider is a conspiracy theory, like the meaning behind the video game, or like the actual like what certain characters were supposed to be when they originally launched. Because I have one like about with Street Fighter, right? Street Fighter 2, when they actually had, character selection, right? We all know the big bad guy in Street Fighter 2 as M. Bison, right? Which is this big Russian guy. And then we also have Balrog, which is, this American black boxer. Well, the original Japanese version, Balrog was actually named M. Bison, be a parody off of Mike Tyson at the time, right? And then the Russian was supposed to be named, Balrog. So they switched it up when they brought it over to America because at the same time, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out was coming out too.
Oh, so they had to.
So they didn't want to associate with Mike Tyson, being the bad guy, from another game, and
You don't want to upset the guy that was knocking motherfuckers out left and right. Yeah,
That sounds more like facts, John, and not a conspiracy.
Yeah, I'll go with
Well,
that.
I'm just saying, it's like, what would it I mean, they had to change it because of something, right? I mean, they did change it because of something.
During the ear incident? That we
No.
had?
That happened like way later.
In Holyfield.
No, this is during Mike Tyson's actual like heyday, like him.
When was his heyday?
Before
80s?
Holyfield?
Oh, shit.
80s, 90s?
Early 90s. I remember
Early 90s,
the fastest knockout that he had was like 38 seconds, something like that. And I was
38
actually
seconds.
selling Kirby's that. You could hear the house is just everybody erupted with it.
38 seconds. Can
38
you imagine paying to sit in that seat? And
Right.
Right? Or the
Right.
pay-per-view, which was like $90, $100.
Right.
Wow. For a 38 second fight.
And that's when they used to go like, what, 14 rounds?
Yeah. Mike Tyson at that point had never gone more than 3 rounds. Ever.
Wow.
I mean, you already know what you're getting into when you're paying $90 for a ticket to a
Right.
show that never gets past the third round. So you already know you're not getting your money's worth.
Right?
But you're gonna go see Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
So, and come on, even you can't be all that upset because you got to go see his #1 knockout
Right.
speed. Like just
Mm-hmm.
so, yeah, you can be upset, but you got to like witness his
But
history.
I mean, when you pay for the pay-per-view, you actually do watch the other fights.
Right. There's
So
3 fights
you're not
and all
just
that.
Yeah.
Oh,
watching
you
just the one
pay-per-view.
fight for 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
MMA. You got pre-fight.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes MMA, the pre-fights are better than everything else.
Correct.
The main one is just terrible.
Yeah, I remember that night definitely.
Well, then,
You
okay,
can hear the
then this. So there's another one that you can either believe it's true or not.
You mean Mike Tyson wasn't enough for you?
No, Mike Tyson wasn't enough. I had to come up with more
Sorry, Mike.
stuff. Don't punch me.
John.
Love you, Mike.
They were talking about him fighting
Logan Paul?
Yeah.
Really?
Love to see.
Oh,
He would tear him
I hope Tyson does, because I'm on Tyson's team. Do it.
Hell
I saw
yeah.
the guy training. He's like
Boom.
2 years older than I am. 2 years younger than I am.
Mike Tyson?
Yeah. And he has got a snap to him still. I mean, he was rotating
Yeah.
in the back. Oh my. He still has to hold a punch. Oh my God. I would still not.
I can't. I would not want to take a punch from
I
Tyson.
don't, yeah, I don't,
Not
I don't,
any
care,
of
I don't
those
care. I
guys,
don't care
really.
how much stuff I got on, like what I'm wearing, what pads. The dude's gonna hit me one time, like one punch, I'm like halfway across the room.
Right, like regardless of whatever protective gear you have, it's gonna spread that force across your whole body, and you're gonna move, and you're gonna go fly.
I was watching him train, and he had a snap on him.
Yeah, I would love to see him just beat the living snot out of Logan Paul.
Yeah, humble
I'm
that
so
Logan.
obnoxious. He's so obnoxious.
I kind of want to see like him punch like a force plate just to see how much force he can actually exert.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And it'd be cool if they did it like back in his heyday, just to see how much like if he dropped.
18,000
Right.
pounds per square inch. Yeah.
I'm sure they could find out mathematically what
Yeah.
it would
What
be
it would be. Yeah.
from his age now to what it was in his heyday. But I would like to know Bruce Lee's.
Mm.
Right?
That guy.
Him and Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris had the fastest spinning back kick in the history of spinning back kicks. That would be a good one to know too.
Well, I mean, if we're being honest, they could do it just by like the timing of everything, like the speed at which his hand is moving and the moment. Like they could do it without Bruce Lee actually being here. I guarantee you, they could figure the math out.
Well, I mean, they would have to actually find footage of him actually hitting something.
I don't think you can calculate it that way, just not by visual speed. Because
Wasn't-
he had technique of the way he just moved his body that made it different. And Chuck Norris, while he could hit and he was fast, but his punches were not even close to freaking.
But then you also have the guy that does like that 1-inch punch that's like breaks through everything.
Bruce
Mhm.
Lee.
No, I mean
Bruce Lee invented
no.
1-inch punch.
Today you have someone that does it.
Oh.
Probably better than Bruce Lee.
Uh,
No, you
Bruce Lee was-
need to see some of the stuff that he does. It's just it's crazy.
He was a
Like
master
what
because he
the-
ended up making his own
His own.
version of the martial arts.
yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, and
Oh, like
I always thought that he was kind of a remarkable person when it came to his discipline with taking care of his body and like fighting. But then I didn't know this, but did you know that Chuck Norris was in one of the movies with Bruce Lee where he's the actual bad guy?
Yeah, he was.
Like,
It's
I
not the
didn't
Game
know
of
that
Death.
until
it was,
more recently, or he was like he fights him.
Yep,
in the
that's
movie.
the final scene.
And I didn't know that until more like within the last year, and I was like, "What? That happened? That's awesome!"
Like the big.
Did Chuck Norris lose?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a Bruce Lee movie. So
Yeah.
I don't know why Chuck Norris would have agreed to do a movie where he loses a fight.
Well, this
They-
is before
they
his infamy of
This is
being
before
Chuck
They
his
Norris.
should have like
Shame.
gotten to the end of the fight and both
No,
just
he'd-
like
he'd
shaking
already
hands and
won.
like walked away.
Yeah. So the Way of the Dragon. So they fight the final scene.
Mm.
Yeah, that was actually I've seen it a couple times.
The Way of the
Pretty
Dragon? Isn't that
The Way of
was,
the
was
Dragon.
that Bruce Lee's last film or was
good. No,
it some,
the
Enter
Game
the
of
Dragon?
Death was Bruce Lee's last game. Last movie.
No, he was filming one that didn't.
his son was filming and got killed.
Enter the
too.
Dragon is what he was filming when he died, but the Game of Death was the last one that
Right.
that actually got published.
Okay, so the one that you were mentioning was the
Way
one
of the
where he's
Dragon.
dead. Oh, the Way of the Dragon.
Yeah.
Enter the Dragon's the one he died in.
Yep.
Okay.
So, what was your other conspiracy theory there, John?
So the other
Bruce
theory,
Lee's still alive.
actually, it's related to Donkey Kong Country. So have any of you guys ever played Donkey Kong Country?
Pretty sure.
Really?
My kids did.
With the
We-
boombox?
That's
and
it. We
dancing?
were the kids.
It's on the
Yeah, they used to throw the bananas and roll the barrels and all that shit.
No, nothing. Okay.
Nah,
I know
it sounds
I know
familiar.
exactly
It sounds
what you're
familiar.
Well, you saw me play it like the other day. So.
It was on a Game Boy, wasn't it?
No, it was on the Super Nintendo.
Oh, then I had no clue.
Right. You had Donkey Kong and then you had Diddy Kong with you as your little buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, I might have played Donkey Kong Country 2 then.
Probably.
Yeah.
Was it with the girl with the pigtails?
Yeah, she was in it.
That was the number 2 then. But anyways, so you play as Donkey Kong, and you know the first scene is like you go into his like banana room, and all his bananas are gone. They've been taken and stolen by the big bad King K. Rool, right? And so people said that this is supposed to be like an allegory for like the Banana Republic Wars that was going on.
Is that why they're throwing bananas?
No, it's because so Donkey Kong represents the indigenous people on the land, right? Trying to get his bananas back, right? And King K. Rool represented, America,
And we're canceled.
I'm just saying. That's what the theory was, and I'm just like, really? And I'm
Sounds
like, I'm
grasping at straws, my friend.
right. And I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, well, first of all, it's made by Rare, right? And then I was like, okay, well, Rare's a United Kingdom company. Maybe the armpit says America, so they wanted to pop this out. But I'm
They
just
still
like,
remember 1776, baby.
right, exactly,
Don't tread on me.
right. And I think, watch out if you say that now.
Oh yeah,
Don't tread on me.
I'll get kicked out of 7th grade.
Right?
Yeah. That teacher doesn't even know what the heck it stands
That
for.
Right,
I,
exactly.
I couldn't believe
And I wouldn't
that.
have believed it in the conversation if they wouldn't have showed the video where she was saying it.
I know
Correct.
it was great. So
That's
so proud
a
of that mom
teacher.
for recording that video.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, anywho, go ahead. Your Banana Republic.
But yeah, so yeah, Rare. It's like I said, United Kingdom company. So I think it was total fabricated nonsense. Trying to, just like nowadays, trying to poke straws at something that's not there.
Make an issue out of something that is nothing.
Like
Right.
where people like to cancel like old songs because like it insinuates date rape or something like that. I'm like, really?
That was the
Dumbest thing in the world.
What song was that?
baby.
Oh yeah,
Baby,
it's
It's
cold
Cold
outside.
Outside.
Baby, it's cold
Yeah.
outside. And the number one song in the nation that week?
Baby, it's
Say
cold
it.
outside. Oh no. Oh yeah.
WAP.
WAP. Wet ass.
Yeah, that's disgusting
Yes.
and disgraceful.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, and that literally, the guy's like,
yeah, but
the
let's
number one
let's cancel like the one that
It's
was
cold
made.
outside, 1943,
Yeah.
47. Holy sh! Mikey,
Yeah, it's pretty
that was
atrocious. That's it. We're gonna get canceled 10 years from now because somebody's gonna be like, John said that indigenous people are monkeys,
Yeah.
That's
and
Yeah,
everyone's gonna be like, what?
hole.
Like podcast
just that
10 years
one
ago.
blip.
How do you stop digging that hole? You put down
like-
the shovel. Shit.
Did you guys listen to the whole podcast? Yeah, we don't like what you say.
Looking forward to it. I think we're all on the side of it's just happenstance that happened.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's just like someone who saw bananas is like, oh, I wonder what the meaning for bananas
Oh.
is.
Yeah.
It's a
I'm like,
monkey.
it's a
Likes
monkey.
bananas.
Monkey
Karen.
like
Like bananas, right? So they made a story about, oh, Donkey Kong lost his whole banana horde. Like, who would take him? An alligator? Why would an alligator take a freaking... Oh my god. Yeah,
It's
sorry.
a kid's game.
Exactly.
It's a kid's
Exactly.
game.
Yeah.
It was something to entice us to go to the end, defeat the big bad boss, right? Mario is to find the princess that was never in
Any of the castles.
which was so funny when you watch the movie.
Right.
Like, I heard she's in another castle. Yeah, go to another castle.
I love those guys. That's so great.
Loved it.
That's amazing.
It was pretty funny. Yeah, she's in another castle.
All right.
Well, actually, speaking of Mario, did you know that Mario 3 is a play? And not an actual adventure?
Mario 3 is a play,
Correct.
not an
So
adventure.
when you look at the opening intro, it's a curtain that opens and unveils.
Right?
Right?
Yeah.
And then all the backdrops are actually bolted
Yeah.
on, and the
Yeah.
shadow is like spotlights casting onto the backdrops.
That's just a weird bit of information to know. Thank you.
The same.
Hey, if I'm ever on Cash Cab one of these days.
Do they still have that show?
I think so.
That was a great show.
Well, it's now the Uber Cash.
Oh,
Uber Cash.
You'll never beat the original.
Yeah.
Cash
Cash
Cab was pretty amazing.
Like, you guys, and then people would be so surprised.
Right?
Like, oh my God.
Inside the cab, lights up with all disco stuff. Like, oh,
All right. So we got my conspiracy. We got John's interesting Banana Republic stuff. And his Mike Tyson. And then we got the next one. What's Shad got on the table today?
So I got the Madden curse. Conspiracy theory or not, it's a game conspiracy that if you ever grace the cover of the Madden NFL franchise game, that your career's over. So you started in 2000. Just to highlight some to go through, we can talk about individuals as we go through. The first one in 2000. Anybody want to take a guess?
I can't because I can see your screen.
Deion Sanders
Barry Sanders.
or Barry
Barry
Sanders?
Sanders.
Barry Sanders. So he graced the cover of the 2000. His last year playing was 1999. He retired before he even
The 2000 season.
They announced that he was on the cover, and he retired before he set foot on the field for the 2000 season. So they ended up using an alternate Dorsey Levens from Green Bay Packers for the European and a limited edition release. But Barry Sanders still made that cover, and it ended his career.
Well, now I'm curious. So what happened to the second guy?
This is kind of like
it was only released overseas. So
Oh, it didn't happen in America. Doesn't count.
right.
I was gonna say, is this like the Babe Ruth curse then? Like kind of like get traded and don't win a championship ever again?
Is that the Red Sox curse you're talking about? The
Yeah.
Curse of the Bambino?
Correct.
Yeah.
Where
Right.
like
Bambino.
Barry Sanders like, oh, I retire, so we're gonna curse the whole Madden franchise.
It could have.
Oh, the connections.
Yeah.
The Doc.
Because he didn't get injured. Everyone else,
Yeah, Barry Sanders quit.
right?
He's out of that.
Everyone else seems to
Wasn't-
have
That's
gotten
funny.
injured.
Is it Deion Sanders right now that's doing like the coaching? He's like coaching
Yeah.
a football team?
Yep.
Okay. That's why. Okay.
Barry Sanders was like the one that played like hockey, baseball, and
Right. He played
football.
everything.
Yeah.
Oh no,
So-
wait, no, Bo Jackson.
No. Didn't Deion Sanders play
No,
baseball?
We're like the
Barry
most
Sanders.
uneducated sports
Yeah.
guys. So
no. I was thinking of Bo Jackson, not.
Don't listen to us about sports.
Yeah,
unless it's F1, you can listen.
It's not a sport.
it's a driving experience.
I knew it. His face. Sorry.
I don't know. Some of these names you probably don't even know because they're just
That old?
right. So Eddie George from Tennessee Titans, 2001, ended his career. He was on the cover, and then he lost a career-high number of fumbles, coughed up the ball in the Titans' season-ending playoff game, and never averaged more than 3.4 yards per carry the rest of his career. Minnesota Vikings, Dante Culpepper. I don't know who that was.
Yeah, I know
I
who.
don't remember.
02.
Culpepper.
Marshall Falk.
Vikings.
04. This will get you. Michael Vick.
Oh, you
So we all-
sure it
What's he
wasn't? You
famous
sure
for?
it wasn't some other stuff that was his problem?
No, whatever it was, it ended his career.
What
So we
was
all
it
know,
that he did
that was
again?
the Bulldogs pit bull fighting.
He beat
dog-
up dogs or something?
No, it was
fighting?
dog fighting.
dog fighting. Yeah,
I wasn't sure if you're actually being serious at that.
he did actually fracture his fibula less than a week after the game's released. But he
Was that on the field or during the pit bull fights?
Doesn't say. Ray Lewis, Baltimore Ravens,
No clue.
Donovan McNabb in 06.
Ab.
Yep. He scuffled with Terry Owens and missed almost half of a 6-10 season. He went on to miss 8 games over the next 2 years. Then it ended his career. So that was in 06 or 04, and then he was out by 06.
Wow.
John Alexander. That was a sad tale.
Oh, Seahawks.
Career high. I remember that season that we were so into football that season. John Alexander was killing it.
Wasn't that the first game we ever went to?
Could have been. Yeah, could have been.
Yeah, it was
one of the
right
last
before we
little
went to Alaska.
So he did. It was his first 1,000-year rushing. He dropped from 1,000 to 896 2 years later, and then he was out of the NFL. He got traded to the NFL to Washington, and then he was out of football 2 years later. So 07, top of his game. 09, he was out of the game. Vince Young, he got Rookie of the Year. And
Yeah,
then-
so did RG3, so that doesn't mean all that much.
That was it. So that was 08 through 17 interceptions in his career that year. Brett Favre. He got traded to Minnesota the year after he made the cover. That was 09.
And then did nothing.
Did nothing. Got hurt his shoulder and did 22 interceptions that year.
I wonder how long it took him to do the cover.
And then he lost in the playoff.
He lost the playoff. I don't think he's ever. Brett Favre. No, is it?
He won, I think, one Super Bowl.
Was it one?
I think one of them.
Who was Dan Marino? Dan Marino. Did he ever? He was with the Dolphins. He never did.
John
win.
Elway never won.
John Elway was one of them.
John Elway.
Great quarterbacks, just never
Yeah.
threw it in there. Drew Brees, 2011, had a record year, 33 touchdowns. The following year, 22 interceptions for the New Orleans Saints. Lost to the Seahawks 7-9. 7-9 season. Peyton Hillis, don't know who he is. Calvin Johnson was 13. Adrian Peterson, Vikings, he was huge. He was running 1,000-yard rushing. 2 years removed from the historical 2,000-yard campaign, he missed all but one game after being indicted for child abuse.
What?
Yep.
I'd say that's a worse story than Michael Vick, but
Right? And then Richard Sherman, that's another one. Great year in 2015.
I'm surprised they're actually able to get.
Right?
Yeah.
because I guarantee you that
There's
like
gotta be
people like
money.
look at it and they're like, oh, I bet you I can beat this curse,
Right.
and then they go for it.
And then
Well, and
Mark
the
Sherman-
incentives behind it, like how much money you get paid to be on that cover.
I'm
thinking- Right, sure. Conspiracy number 2.
Like, well, the conspiracy, like.
John, do me a favor, check your microphone.
How long has that been going on?
Technical difficulties.
I think within like the last 30 seconds.
Please enjoy this.
I just
smooth
heard the
jazz.
ding, so.
Yeah, so Richard Sherman, great.
Hold on.
Why are you playing with my stuff, John?
And we're back.
Yeah, we're good. Okay, go ahead.
Officially, so Sherman was on the top of his game on his career year. Then he ended up the following year going into Tommy John surgery. I don't know what Tommy John surgery is. So not technically cursed, but he got
Yeah, no
traded
clue.
shortly after that, and then he was done.
Isn't Tommy
Odell
John's
Beckham
like
Jr.
the arm. The pitcher.
I thought Tommy John was like the underwear.
I don't know what that surgery is. Yeah,
I thought
Tommy
it was a sub
Hilfiger?
place.
That's the underwear.
No,
Clothing.
No, Tommy Hilfiger. is-
No, I think
is what
there's Tommy John's that
Huh?
are underwear.
There's Joe
And then
Cool.
I thought that's like the one that pitchers get. They have to have Tommy John surgery, whatever it is.
tennis
Tommy
elbow.
John surgery, or known as ulnar collateral ligament, L reconstruction,
His elbow
used
or
to
his knee?
repair a torn ulnar collateral ligament inside the elbow.
Oh, maybe that.
It is because a lot of like some guy like they talk about it in baseball all the time, like how it helps pitchers and when they get injured and all this stuff.
Well, you see how they like freaking throw their just
How was
crazy.
that?
They-
I didn't even see that
the
one. More.
flick, the flick.
Wow.
Is
You
it too-
would
I
not have-
I threw sideways growing
So
up.
you
I-
submarine? You're a
No.
submarine pitcher?
Hey,
I
wasn't a
didn't
pitcher?
pitch.
Of
I
course
was an
you
outfielder.
didn't.
I was an outfielder. I was
Come on.
picking daisies, bud.
I was picking daisies.
So Rob Gronkowski, we all know who he is. So Patriots, 5-time Pro Bowler, ended up missing his final season. He was on it for 2017, 2016. Missed virtually all of the Patriots' first 6 games, and then did a herniated disc. Played 2 games and then was out for the last 6. For whatever reason, 2018, Tom Brady's on here for the year of 2018, the GOAT.
He broke
Um,
it, the curse.
He broke the curse. If you, I mean, so he has like I don't know 8 rings, and then he
Yeah.
got traded. And this is whether you like Tom Brady or not, you cannot argue with a guy who can take a team to the Super Bowl 6 times, win the championships, get traded to another team, and take that team that year to the Super Bowl.
Whoa. Get traded to a terrible team.
And
The
then and
Buccaneers?
then win it. And then so you can't. To me, that would break the curse right there.
Was that the franchise's first Super Bowl?
That was the
Buccaneers? I don't.
It was
I don't know.
it was the Buccaneers.
Yeah, I don't know if it was our first win though. Super
Oh,
Bowl.
I got no
Right.
clue.
But yeah, so the trade would be his curse, but I mean, he was just so good at doing.
I
what he
think
was doing
that it's not because I think
Wait,
they
so
had a
wa-
coach
was he-
back
was-
in the day that took him there.
2003, 2021.
Yeah, he's the All Pro Dad. If you go to All Pro Dad, he helps run that website. I can't remember that coach's name though. Shoot. Oh well.
But yeah, so it says right here he did all that. He was threw for more than 500 yards per game, MVP awards out the wazoo, and he did all that before the age of 40. He's immune to the curse.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't hop on the goat here.
Yeah. So Antonio Brown from the Steelers, we all know who he was. One of his game's most gifted outrunners. Brown scored a career high 15 touchdowns during his cover year, but it proved to be tumultuous. One in the Steelers locker room, resulting in traded to the Raiders after the season. He only played another 16 games in the end. Career high touchdowns for the team. Traded because he couldn't not keep his mouth shut in the locker room. Played 16.
That just
games
seems like a
altogether.
personal problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but still, he was on the cover.
Yep. Patrick Mahone, like him or not, he's just. He had multiple injuries the year after he was on the cover, and that's when his injury started. Lamar Jackson from the Ravens.
Oh, no. What was that?
This one?
Yeah.
Buccaneers, Tom Brady. Chiefs, quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. So this is the one where he lost. So they put them both on the cover. Buccaneers lost the second Super Bowl appearance to the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes used to be Brady's backup quarterback.
Well, I will say, Tom Brady's life, he gets on that 2022 cover, and then he's like, I'm going to retire. And then he's like, never mind.
And then 2023, Madden made his own cover, and we all know that he's so. There you go.
You
That's
curse a
my
man who's already
conspiracy
dead.
theory. So my recommendation, if you're playing football or whatever it is, Madden, don't
Be
go
the
on
goat.
the cover.
Yeah.
You gotta be the GOAT to make it right. That's mine.
I think there's too many variables for that to be a true curse.
Right.
Personally, I think there's too much.
It's too convenient to actually be a curse because you're playing a very injury-prone
Puts a spotlight
sport.
on you, and
Right.
then you're. I don't know what
So
the
then
pressure
you-
that is for you to be. Here you are on the cover of Madden,
Yeah.
and you got to.
But like for
You gotta
stuff
do
to
it for
happen
their
within the
best
next year, I mean that's kind of too coincidental.
Yeah,
for
normally
him
they
to
pick the
not-
guy that's had the huge year, like Michael Sherman.
Right.
Richard
Or
Sherman.
Richard Sherman, sorry. Or Brett Favre. Crazy awesome years that year, right? That's why they got MVP for the year. That's normally why they make that cover, and then to try to maintain that status or do it again. repeat.
Brady, well, he's the greatest quarterback of all time.
He is a GOAT, but you put him in the same category as
Bart Starr.
Joe Montana, Bart Starr,
Jim Zorn.
Yeah,
there's a lot of them out there.
there's a lot of good quarterbacks, but because of his stats and how many championships he's
Hey,
had,
you can't
he's-
discount the ring.
right, and I think that's why he would win. Like I like Bart Starr more than I do Brady.
Yeah.
But like the stats kind of beat him.
Yeah, I grew up with Joe Montana with the 49ers.
Joe Montana as a kid, like I thought he was
Montana
cool.
and Rice. Oh my God, that
Yeah,
was you could
Jerry Rice and Montana. I had their cards. I just thought they were so cool.
right?
I'm like, and I wasn't even a fan. Like I was a fan of the team because of them.
Yep.
They're like, it wasn't our family team or anything, but like I had their cards. Joe Montana. Like I'm Joe Montana. I'm trying to throw it.
Yeah.
You know, I can never actually throw a football.
Really?
To this day, I can't throw a football.
the perfect spiral.
Or any type of spiral.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
the
realized that
laces,
too.
He's
As in-
he's more dainty. He requires a baseball.
Pretty good size hand.
I do.
That makes me feel better because I have smaller hands than you, and I
Right.
can't throw a good spiral.
I
But
can't.
I can kick the heck out of that football.
I can't throw. I can't throw any
Are we
spiral.
talking about football or are we talking about football?
Both.
Both.
All right. Well, I'm a no for the Madden curse. I don't think there's too many variables to just be like, yeah, that's the one
I think
thing.
it's coincidental. It's a no for me.
Yeah, I mean, yes, because it's happens too often for it to not be. If
But-
it was like a one-off, sure, okay, yeah, whatever. But it's too many people have ended their career.
John?
I mean, there's just too much. I mean, there's when it comes to empirical evidence of it being there, it's right in front of you. It's right in front of you.
Okay.
It's there.
I don't think you can take the evidence that you're presenting and say that this is actually cursed. Because they're not like dying.
Yeah, but the careers are.
You end a $1 million a year career or $10 million a year career. That's a curse.
Budget better.
I mean, how do you explain the?
I didn't say they went into famine or broke or were homeless.
I
He's
just
not
don't
playing
think
football
I
anymore.
don't think you don't have a curse doesn't just go okay, curse, skip, curse, skip, curse.
Okay, so
curse,
okay, what about the Cubs Billy Goat curse?
I don't believe that either. Bad management, poor management, man. Like in baseball, there's plenty of factors.
Then what about
that
the Chris the Bambino?
No, that got broken.
Right, finally. But
Right,
was
they
it,
got
was
broken.
it, was it there? Or even the Red Sox. So they didn't win the World Series. The year they won the World Series, the guy got hit or I can't remember what the hell it was, but he ended up was bleeding through his sock. The pitcher on the mound. That's the year they won. Yep, Google it.
But that was also the year that they did the Moneyball too.
The movie?
No,
Oh.
the concept. So the A's did it.
Oh,
The
that's
A's
right.
did it
Then the Red Sox.
the
Because
year after,
right.
and that's the year that they won the Super Bowl or the
Yeah.
Super Bowl World Series.
again, we're not sports guys.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, no, that was I forgot that he ends up going to the Boston.
Right. Doesn't end up going, but you know.
I mean,
Got traded.
I know they adopt his
Correct.
Strategy.
Yep, because he stayed with the A's.
And
Right.
Stayed with the-
His plan was cool and all, and it got results, but at the end of the day, it didn't win them the World Series.
Which is all that really matters.
Yeah.
Correct. Well, and pennants.
right, he didn't win the pennant,
Right. Pennants.
so he couldn't go to the World Series. Because
There
like
you go.
making it to the World Series, that's an achievement of itself.
Oh yeah.
Right.
But I don't know. I just don't feel like because when I was doing all the conspiracies in different games, I'm like, these are cool. Like ones that actually got me. I'm like the Madden one. Maybe it's just because I'm not a Madden
Words first.
but or like I don't care about it as much. I mean, it's coincidental, but at the same time, I just don't. I'm like curse, skip, curse, skip. like
Selective.
I don't know. Why would you skip Brady? Because he's honored football.
Well, he got
Like,
traded the next year.
Yeah, but
so
to
technically,
me, like the
his
curse
career
was
with
supposed
the
to be about they're out, like they're
Right.
done with football. That's how I looked at it when I was doing the little bit of reading about it. Not necessarily, well, he got traded. Who cares if you get traded? You're still playing your game. You're still
Mhm.
the quarterback for whatever.
Buccaneers. And still
But-
on Super Bowl. Yeah, you can't argue that. No, you just can't.
Mm.
Yeah, I was never a Brady fan, and then when he left the Patriots and went to the Buccaneers, and then he went to the Super Bowl, I was like, I can't
Yeah.
dog the guy. Like,
He's disciplined.
I may not be, I will
like,
never be a fan of the Patriots, but I can be a fan of a good quarterback.
I saw one of his just training videos he was doing. I think it was just him throwing a ball, but he was throwing it into. Sorry about that, guys. He was throwing it perfectly into this device where it would throw the football back.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm like, that is awesome. I
Right?
couldn't do that if my life depended on it. But this guy's just like casually.
Have
Yeah,
a touch. Yeah, I've seen that video too.
that's so cool. I'm like, if I had that as a kid, I may have invested in some football more. Like,
So we got no, yes, yes.
Can't beat the evidence.
so much evidence.
Okay, wow, we're just complete opposites today.
I know.
We got one more here, Bear.
All right. So I know we're probably running low on time. But,
If we run a little over, the devs can deal with it.
Washington, or the state of Washington, there was the arcade out there, and there was a game put in there apparently called Polybus, something to that effect. And people would play it, and they think that game was put in there by the CIA to like test different things, like all that kind of subterfuge of messing with people's minds with like lights and images and all this stuff. And eventually, people said that two 18-year-old guys died from a heart attack from playing on these things. And I'm more inclined to think that was probably because some of these guys would sit for like 20 something hours and play and not like take care of themselves. It's kind of like they do now when they're streaming. Like,
Well, if it was in an arcade, it was a stand.
it was an
stand-up machine.
yeah, they'd stand there, and some of these guys would get like just so many hours into it. But the crazy part is the guy that one of the 18-year-olds that did it put his name in, and ended up his score was like equated to 666, and then he died of a heart attack. And I was like, okay, whatever. But what I find is interesting is no one could like the arcade game was removed by these men in black suits and all this stuff, and I'm inclined to think it was probably testing by the CIA and stuff, because if you look at the stuff that's being declassified even right now, like I think there's on Netflix now, there's a documentary about the whole like lacing guys with acid, the Johns who were visiting these women in California, and they were doing all these different tests on people. So it wouldn't surprise me that if the CIA got involved in technology, which they still are now, the NSA, CIA, and trying to find ways to manipulate people's minds through videography, through all of that. And if you see what's going on today with like media sound bites, or like just little clips here and there, it's becoming to the point where you don't know reality between what's fake. Like there's
Being
just
fed.
exactly. So I think they've been playing games way back then, and now they're getting the fruit from that labor nowadays, like right now. And so I'm inclined to believe it, because there's so many people, like there's so much information about that, like that you can just go on rabbit holes. And of course, people could just be making it up. If I was actually an investigative reporter or something and wanted to get to the bottom of it, I would, but I'm not. I think it's just one of those legends, if
yeah.
you will. But I always feel like there's always a little bit of truth. Like in stuff like that, especially when it comes to the government or governments in the world. Like,
why wouldn't you, as an entity like that? I mean, it's
right. That's
it's
your
a free test group.
Right, free
You-
group right there
and-
that comes in and pays money, and you
Pays
can
you.
like watch and observe them, or like just
Yeah,
just very. I think it was just very interesting to read about. And if I could ever figure out how to properly pronounce the name, how do you think?
I think it's Polybus.
Polybus? Okay.
Polybus. Polybus.
Polybus.
Probably stands or something.
But those sneaky guys. Like,
If you think you know what
No, wait.
Polybus stands for, let us
We're-
know in the comment
we're all
section.
dead tomorrow.
helicopters?
Oh, where's my gun?
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Every
No,
office in here.
I totally believe that our own government has done, and I'm not a conspiracy, trying to kill all these people, whatever, but mind controlling and development of things that would be, because video games are addictive. I mean, 100%. You can put a kid in front of a video game, and they'll spend the next 6 weeks sitting there just playing that game.
At the very
Dead?
least,
Anyway.
if it wasn't like CIA,
Right.
it could have been the Department of Defense, because in their mind, if you think about that time frame, Reagan was doing the Star Wars, which was something we were going to do for the future, but the Russians believed that we were doing it then, and so they amped up ended up cratering their economy. But I think it would be the Defense Department probably
Yes.
that was being like, okay, what if we could just have our soldiers way back here and pushing buttons and stuff? How would that? I don't know.
Because CIA is more of overseas, they're not non-domestic.
They're here.
Yeah,
too.
they're the CIA is a domestic threat. Don't even start with that.
They're like, oh yeah, we're helping protect you guys. No, you're trying to corrupt. You're not helping us.
Yeah, no.
I'm gonna post that the CIA is a domestic threat, and then we're gonna get swatted.
We'd like to talk to you about your podcast.
Yeah, such is life. Fuck you.
Whoop. Beep. Oh,
Yeah, that
I was-
did it. That did it.
That's it right there. Now they're swatting up.
I could for sure believe it. I mean, like you said, there's all this stuff that's becoming declassified that the CIA or the FBI have like done to different groups of people over the years, and it's like, yeah, I wouldn't put it past them to create this video game and then put it out to people and try and see what mind-altering things they could do. Like,
Correct. That you
I
don't-
I
you
would
don't- you
never
don't-
put that past
don't-
anybody in the federal government.
Right. You don't dose people with narcotics and drugs, like drugs that
Psychedelics.
can ruin your mind if you're not a part of a nefarious organization. You're doing it against your own citizens. So, yeah, they can declassify it. They also killed Kennedy. So, like,
Oh, didn't they declassify that they had
it's
a
getting-
plot to actually kill him?
yeah. So don't give me this, like, we're this benevolent organization trying to watch over you and help you and all this. No, you're not. No, you're not. And that's why I'm inclined to believe. Like, for my government, I want my military and my security to be scary. I want them, but I don't want them targeting and testing
people,
crap
yeah.
on their own people.
I don't want them to be scary to the American people.
Right.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be protecting us from the real bad guys, but you guys have become and are becoming the bad
Yeah,
guys.
and not to get into politics, but I watched a video the other day of a guy challenging the city council, I think it was, and he's like, "So when are we going to use our guns?" And they're like, "What are you talking about?" He says, "You guys are tyrannical in what you're doing. The Constitution allows for us to operate against tyranny. You are the epitome of what the Constitution was made for. When are we going to start pulling out our guns?" And they're like, "Oh my
Was he
God."
arrested?
I don't remember seeing the end of the video, but he was like livid. You're doing this, and this. The Constitution says this, and this. You are infringing on my rights, and this is my constitutional given right is to act against you with force. Like, so you tell me, you guys gonna change your ways, or we're grabbing our guns? I mean, he literally just sat threatened them straight up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could see him getting arrested real quick for that one.
Yep.
Yeah, let's try to stay away from politics because we're gonna go down a rabbit hole real quick.
We should do one episode of politics. That'd be good.
It'll be like a
good to
10-hour podcast.
Yeah. Well, we'll do it'll be Christianity and politics. Like, let's go. Yeah, I'm on board with it being like the CIA definitely did something, or some
Right.
government entity
Yeah,
definitely did it. Bears a yes.
You hit one of those three
Three-letter.
outfits, and I'm like, yep, they did.
Yeah, one of the alphabet boys.
Yep.
Yeah. What about you, Johnny boy? I remember 2 years ago you were like, "You all red pill eating tinfoil hat wearing idiots," and nowadays you're like, "Pretty sure the
Maybe.
Titanic was not sunken. It was another." Like, you're on board, John.
God's
I got you
gracious.
convinced with BlackRock. I got you convinced with the
I
bugs.
was reading that the other day
Hey,
about the Titanic.
Join
I was
Mr.
like,
Penguin.
oh,
We are
shit.
good guys.
I don't know. Where's the empirical
he's like,
evidence?
do I do
Man,
it?
I submitted all that empirical evidence on the
Whoa,
Discord.
you want me to read his 30-page
No.
Discord dissertation on this? Okay. I can read it.
No.
Hey man,
It was thorough. I read
want-
it. It was like,
I want us to excel.
So what was the game about?
I don't know.
Sorry, let me find subsection A in Article 2 of his third page on this.
I didn't care really necessarily about the gameplay right away,
would.
and I don't. It's been now.
Because what would
Minute.
cause someone to stay there for
the
like
game.
It had so many like
flashing lights.
flashing and stuff like that.
You wrote it right here.
No.
The game, a black box with no name that involved geometric patterns and colorful shapes, was instantly addictive, hypnotic, and in some cases dangerous. Polybus is not recommended for people with epilepsy because of its bizarre lighting effects.
Yeah, there's something weird about like how the
lighting.
game would like interact with your brain, and that's why I'm inclined to think that it was the CIA or Defense Department, something with that. Because what do you think would be a great weapon? Everybody watches their TV, everybody's on their phones, everything is now digital. So like, if you have a way to like brainwash people almost within like moments, and like, or they see something, and then you're telling them, no, that didn't really happen. Like, it's creepy to think about, but we only know what less than 10% of what how much our brain operates or something like that. Like, it's like there's so much that we don't understand about even our own mind.
The psyche.
That yeah, there's like other layers to it. So
Well, it's like the not to get into politics again, but the newscast where they show one person saying one thing, and then they show the other program saying they word for word, and then another one, and then another one. And then by the time they do it,
that TikTok was crazy.
It's
oh yeah, the
100
news,
channels,
the news,
and
right.
they verbatim say
Yeah.
the exact same thing.
And that goes back to like Goebbels' idea of if you repeat
So
something
many
over
times,
and over again,
they believe
it
it.
becomes truth to people,
Yep.
to where they actually believe it, and they will not. It's almost like a psychosis. And so I'm definitely on board with that. It being naughty, nefariousness.
All right, John. You're the last vote here. Where are you at?
Were we split all the way?
Are
today?
you putting tinfoil on?
I'm not putting the ball head on.
Wow.
It just is for an arcade game to happen in an arcade area, right? And really no news comes out of whether they sign NDAs or silence them or whatnot. I mean, that's he's going a little bit too far.
Well, the U.S. government's pretty good at that, so we've
Yeah,
seen.
Shit,
Are
you just
they?
put it in an arcade
Yeah.
thingy and
And-
let it run, and then in 2 weeks go grab the damn thing.
Yeah.
Nobody's the wiser.
You get
Put a quarter in it because
you get a couple hundred test subjects going through that arcade in a week or two, and you're like, okay, we have our like study. Go take the machine out before anybody says anything.
I don't know. Because they mentioned, guys in black suits taking the thing away. I'm like,
That's just a testimony from someone.
Right.
If you look at all the different stuff,
and-
it's kind of like the
and
alien
the thing that we know about testimonies is that it's all fucking bullshit. Because eyewitness is not the most.
So
reliable thing
here
in
we
the
go.
world.
Here we go. So in his dissertation here,
Yeah, because it's facts.
uh,
Because he wrote it down.
It's on the internet. It's
Right.
uh,
He wrote it in Discord. That means it's true.
so I'm
Thank
trying
you,
to look
John. I
for
appreciate
here.
that.
There were local reports at the time of FBI agents visiting arcades, though this was apparently due to an investigation into illegal gambling rings. First off, the FBI does not deal with illegal gambling rings.
Yeah.
That's not their jurisdiction.
It is.
Yeah, it is. It's domestic.
Racketeering.
Yeah, right. Yeah. If it goes over state lines or it's laundering money, it's FBI.
Yeah, no, that's definitely
domestic.
FBI.
Yeah. 100%. 100%.
100%.
I'm gonna disagree with that, but that's all right.
Uh,
Regardless, so specifically in arcades in that same area of Portland, Oregon, there are FBI agents and there are local reports of it.
When,
That's more
okay, so let me put
coincidental,
it like this. When you see the FBI working somewhere, the CIA is probably around. The NSA
Yeah,
is
the whole
like,
alphabet's there.
correct. So it's not just one. So yeah, we're here for the gambling. Yeah, see, the FBI is here for the gambling, guys. Don't worry about it.
So the FBI and the Internal Revenue Service both have the authority to conduct investigations of federal gambling.
Right. But like, how else do you cover up stuff? Like,
You
oh,
lie.
we're doing this whole investigation about this stuff.
The U.S.
But-
government's really good at lying.
Yes, they are. They
They
absolutely.
just told us
Dude,
about aliens that they've known about for 50 years.
Right.
Yeah,
So
but-
I think the government lives off
But
the
whole
adage that
concept of aliens is stupid.
individuals are smart, groups of people are stupid.
Like, I mean, we've had aliens in our history long before.
Talking about the Aztecs. Talking about the
Even before
pyramids.
that. Everything.
Go back to Kepler, whatever it's called.
Well, I'm just saying, like, even in Christianity, they have aliens. Fucking angels and demons.
Well, it's just a
They're not-
different name.
Right,
The
they're
name-
not from
it's-
Earth.
Right. They're
So-
aliens.
so you
to
believe
us.
in aliens, John?
So to believe that we're alone, right, in the universe was stupid. When people of, like, religion thought that. I'm like, really? You believe in the same creator that created us, that also created those guys, the angels, right? But we're the only one in the universe.
Well, they've done the math. So, you can do the creation theory, but if you do evolution or what just the cosmos is out there and it is what it is, and the world is just life is creating. They did the math, and it was like 0.0001% chance of there being life on Earth, right?
Mhm.
So you do that, and then you times that by the
Infinity?
infinity that is the world, the universe, the cosmos, and there's billions of other planets out there with life.
Right.
as well.
Even when you think logically, it's just no way that we're just here by ourselves.
If you think about like,
And then, like, just even like the descriptions of other people, if you want to believe like ancient aliens or what have you.
Well, even the Bible talks about other gods.
Right.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me. And okay, so there were other gods. What's that concept look like before God, right? So where did they come from? What are they about? All the Egyptian gods, the Norse gods,
well, if you want my honest opinion, I believe that all of them were demons that had
Right.
power.
But it's
they
still-
had power to show themselves to men and be like, worship me, and I'm going to show you why, and I'm going to help you because they're drawing worship away from God the Father, which
But yet, still aliens.
right, it would be alien to. Obviously,
Yeah,
to us in our modern era, they would be like everyone wants to see the little green aliens and the gray men and all this stuff.
Correct.
But it's
I hear they're
it's
not very
something.
nice.
It's people we don't understand the other dimensions in this world
yeah.
and beyond, like the spiritual and all of that. Like we have no real understanding, which is why people feel like we live in a simulation or like life. It's like, what is going on? This is absurd. Like that's why we have a longing in our hearts for eternity. Like no one wants to die because we never were meant to die. We weren't created to die, and yet now we die because we've chosen sin. That we made a choice as a species, as humanity, to rebel against God. And now, because of that, the God's enemy, Lucifer, who rebelled against God originally with his third of angels, said, hey, you know what? We're with you. We're going to help you, humans. And then now you can worship us, and we're going to help advance you. We're going to help teach you all these things to take you, because you don't need God, just like us. And look at us now. We're going backwards in time to where we're starting to worship pagan ideals. ISIS from Egypt, like worshiping nature and all this crap. It's such a lie, and it's so obvious. But it says in the Bible that people will be deceived. They don't want to accept a belief in God, because then they have to be accountable. And it's like, well, it's really easy to live a life when you don't have to be accountable to anybody. But I mean, that's a whole tangent. in
Yeah,
itself.
we
Like,
literally
so-
go like 6-hour podcast on that one. So John, you are still on the side of no.
Ah.
So we got three yays and an A on that one.
Hey, that was the biggest one we've had.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 yays and
Yeah,
a
we've been
nay.
divided all day.
I'm just saying.
I'm gonna make that a song.
If the government were to
It's
do
what the government-
experiments on us, I believe there'll be more
If.
kidnapping us
What do you mean
than
if?
there'd be
What
more.
do you mean if? Is there a doubt in your mind that they don't do experiments on us at all?
I think they're just. I don't
mean,
think our government's that smart to do it.
They just did it with
Are
the
you-
COVID stuff.
Thank you.
All the vaccines,
Okay. Okay.
Hold on. They're still stupid.
they're still doing it. Oh, here comes another COVID attack. The virus
Stop.
so
It's
smart.
election time. Let's do it
I have
again.
to bleep that entire part out because it will literally get our videos taken down.
Put it on Rumble.
Right.
Yeah, that will. I'll post it with the COVID thing on it. I don't like whatever.
It's a conversation.
It's a conversation between.
Understandably, but I'm just saying, like,
It's a
I don't think, or it's slow moving and bureaucratic as our government is. I don't think they're smart enough to do all the stuff that people.
I've got one question for you, John. Who do you think controls the FBI?
I don't care.
Who do you think controls the CIA?
I don't know.
They don't go to the president when they
know.
need something.
Black-
They just do it.
I
Rockfellas?
understand. I
So
get
Following
it.
orders.
you have controlling entities within all these different government organizations that just tell people to go do
Right,
stuff,
understand, but
and they
everything's
don't. Yes, they need permission from all these other people. They don't get it. They just go do it.
Right. And
So
then it's
yes,
irrelevant once they get
government
caught.
as a whole takes their sweet ass time doing literally everything, except for those entities who just decide when they want to do stuff.
Right, and if
Right.
they get caught, it's like,
But I don't-
oh, rogue
again,
agent,
I
rogue
get-
this.
Right. Assassinations, stuff like that, whatever. Conspiracy theory, and I'll probably be on board with you. As far as like mass scale, as far as, you know.
That was the best one.
As far as mass scale manipulation and stuff like that, or as far as like, well, we're gonna. Not manipulation, that was a bad word.
Oh, but it was not incorrect.
It was a bad word.
You're speaking truth and not even wanting to.
What I meant to say, as far as like doing experiments, like, you
You want
know,
me to get the tinfoil?
everyone that's on channel 7, right, is going to receive this frequency and they're going to fart at the same. That I believe is,
Called the brown note.
yeah, it doesn't exist. What I'm saying is that, like, I don't think they have the capacity to do that type of stuff, like, even like back then. Maybe now, sure, but as far as like the date that we're talking about when it happened, they had to put people on the ground and
Give
stuff
it
like
2
that.
more years. Give it 2 more years, John. You
Or
will
it
be
gets declassified.
like 100% tinfoil hat.
I can't believe everything that's stupid or retarded or
No, granted,
conspiracy theory
Right.
out there. Right?
But-
All right,
I-
we're
I-
gonna
I-
move on to our next section here,
You
which is
can't-
gonna be our
I-
developer spotlight.
No, hold on.
for
Hold on.
today.
Give me one more last comment. I understand that you don't want to believe all conspiracy theories,
Right.
but some?
Yeah, I believe there's some out there that's
Okay.
actual, like, you know, too coincidental to
You believe
not
your government
be.
has your best interest at heart all the time?
No, because I'm one side of the.
Okay.
I'm on one side of the aisle.
No, okay, no.
They technically have to cater to both
All right,
sides.
I gotta jump off of that. Do you believe that the government has the people in their best interest when they are doing things?
What type of government are you talking about?
The American government. Let's just go with that one.
Okay, it's-
80
Again,
80,000 IRS
the
agents?
American
that's such
federal
a
government.
broad stroke.
I understand that's a
Right.
broad stroke, John.
So again, you have to
Give
be
me a
more-
broad answer.
You have to be more.
Give me a
specific.
broad answer.
Broad answer.
Do you
Broad-
think in general the United States government has the American
So I'll give you
people's
specific.
well-being in
I'm
mind?
gonna
What did they hire 80,000 IRS agents for and have to have them have guns?
To steal my money that I don't make.
What's that for? Is that in the best interest of the people?
All right, we're going hardcore political here. We need to move on.
Yeah,
Nope, we're done. We're done. All right,
And that's the
so
buzzer.
so
We'll
our
argue about this when we're done.
we can argue about it later.
Yeah.
Our developer spotlight for today is a game
I don't agree
that
with
is
that.
just recent. Is a game that has just recently been remastered. It's one that I guess was published a while ago, but has just recently come back into the limelight as being a AAA alternative, or an alternative to AAA FPSs. It is called BattleBit, put out by Sergeant Okidoki. That's the name, Sergeant Okidoki.
Sergeant Okidoki.
Velasquez and the Liquid Horse. So it is. I did not recognize the Liquid Horses for the name.
think
All I see under them is BattleBit. And then under Sergeant Okidoki, great. Great
is
name.
so good.
All I see under them is BattleBit as well. So just a brief synopsis, because their synopsis is very brief. BattleBit Remastered is a low-poly, massive multiplayer FPS supporting 254 players per server. Battle on a near fully destructible map with various vehicles. That is their shout-out of their own game. It's currently in early access
What does it look like?
on Steam right now. I will show you. On Steam right now for $14.99. Unfortunately, there's DLC, but it's just a supporters pack DLC. It's not like we released the game incomplete. Now
Right.
buy the stuff that should have come with the game. It's more cosmetics and that kind of stuff. But I will go ahead and play us BattleBit official trailer.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, like people don't like the visuals, but I feel the gameplay good.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a snow map and it looks just like one big gray wasteland, but I would rather good gameplay, good mechanics. Yeah. Yeah. If it's got good gameplay, it's got good gameplay. And honestly, it's so... Obviously, it's an alternative to Battlefield. And if I'm being honest, we all played Battlefield when it was released, and it was such a joke. Yeah. And it's like, in all honesty, they create this, like, base game, and then they even update it with, like, just a little bit more polys, a little bit more graphic. Like, they don't have to do a lot. Video games, like, as much as people are like, oh, I bought my 4090, like, I would much rather play this on a 4090 than play Battlefield on a 4090. Well, regardless, I didn't spend that much on a 4090.
Yeah, it looks like a fun game.
I think it's definitely something. Right now,
$14.99?
$14.99 on Steam. Yeah.
Yeah, it's remastered.
I
You see the
can't
$4.99.
I can't believe I spent $60 on
I
freaking
know.
Battlefield. Like, that's so depressing.
And like even now,
Oh, I won't buy COD.
since it came out, I go back and check it periodically, and I'm still just like, man, this is not it's not the same.
Yeah.
Like that when I liked it back in the day where you didn't have so many issues constantly in games, and I don't know if that's because they're trying to the servers or like the people. I don't know what is going on, but it's so frustrating that every week you're like, oh, here's another issue, and they don't fix it, they just let it go. And it's just maximizing the dollar.
Right. So they're shooting for the dollar instead of the game. Get away from the fun.
If you get the gameplay, the
everything
money
else
will come.
Yeah.
Like if you treat people with respect, like
So looking at just one of the screenshots here. So I'm looking at a ranking system. I'm looking at available classes. I'm looking at vehicles. I'm looking at weapon customizations. I'm looking at future updates that are already planned for the game.
I think that's a conspiracy theory.
You're obnoxious.
Future
to me, John.
plans? Come on.
they're going to the
Well,
Bahamas.
They already have it.
17
No, I don't think any
unique
of us did.
destructible maps, including shooting ranges. 17 different maps. How many did Battlefield come out with when they released? 3? 4? If that?
I remember the ship one in the middle of the Barren Sea or whatever. Like
More like this. Yeah, Battlefield 2042 is still a $59.99 game. Yeah, I think it's just a great alternative for a game that has good overall gameplay. Yeah, you don't get the graphics that maybe you want on your,
Well, what's the
couple
remastered
$1,000
edition?
PC. This is the remastered edition, which is why I said it was previously released, and this has just been remastered with.
Game is actually
No. The remastered is $14.99.
and then
The BattleBit Remaster Supporter Edition.
is
So if you click on here and you
Stuff
look
to help
at
the
you look
devs.
at the supporter. So click on the supporter pack, cosmetics. Yeah. So this pack contains skins for a whole bunch of different assault rifles, a whole bunch of different SMGs. Yeah, just cosmetics overall. So, yeah, increases or allow also featuring the following armors, so backpacks and engineer classes and like all that kind of different stuff. So I'd say overall something worth taking a look into and seeing what that company does in the. I am actually kind of interested to see when the original release of this game was.
1972.
1860.
December 3rd,
2022.
And it got remastered in 1 year.
2016. Yeah, so the original production of the game was in 2016. Just lacking core playability. So very, very interesting.
There's a lot on the internet.
So they pretty much redid that game and
Yeah.
made it like way better. I think that's why it got so popular, like so
Well,
fast.
if you
Because
listen
it's
to your community, and which is like
right.
Correct. Go.
And then the
it'll,
people
it'll,
are like, "Holy smokes!" And then you have people you're pulling from now from all these other games like Destiny 2, Call of Duty, Battlefield, Halo. You can pull them all away if every person feels like they have a chance to be the best and like, hey, I have a niche here with my team, my little squad. Like I don't feel pigeonholed.
right? I mean,
Like
the four of us to get together and
right. So I think it'll be a cool game to play.
no, I absolutely agree. But that is all the time that we.
we have all the time in the world. Seriously.
As much
The
time
Matrix.
as much time as God allows us on this earth. Well, gamers and devs, that wraps up this episode of the Status Quo. We hope you enjoyed the dive into the world of gaming from our point of view. Close today, we just want to say thank you for your support as we try to bring positive and insightful and entertaining content to you every week. If you'd like to stay connected with us beyond the podcast, follow us on all major platforms at Sundered Gaming. You can also check us out on our website, sundered.com, for any upcoming content, sneak peeks, and announcements about our future. Join us next week. We might discuss Christianity or the government or the IRS or lockdowns or
penguins.
apparently penguins. You ever see March of the Penguins?
Yeah.
It was such a terrible movie.